How empathetic leaders play a role in ensuring their corporations support sustainable development goals. Today, amidst us, we have an amazing role model today, Paul L Gunn Jr., the founder and CEO of KUOG Corporation, a logistics and supply chain company. Mr. Paul has built a career around procurement, logistics, and supply chain. His impressive track record in this domain is evidenced by the firms he owned and their flawless delivery performance records. Some of his noteworthy capabilities include consulting, training, and project management, implementing quality management systems and technology solutions for global organizations leading cross-functional teams in Asia, Europe, Middle East, and the Americas. He is a USA Today and Wall Street Journal best-selling author. So let's hear from him on his amazing journey. Thank you.
Well, thank you everyone for having me here. This means a lot. And if I can hear the underlining tone, it speaks right into this, what I would want to call as Earth's empathetic cry. It seems most of the people here are talking on values and the importance of this, of getting to our children early. And that's kind of what I wanted to speak on in layman terms. There's so many experts here, so many people well-versed in ESG and the different goals that need to be taken up. It spins into the importance of leaders that are void of titles and influence, and using that to touch those, carrying over from what needs to be taught in the home, taught in the schools, and shown up until leaders. But often we've seen, and many can relate to, that's not necessarily shown in corporate and small businesses. And so many companies have this ability to take it from their leaders and flow it down using that leverage and influence. Now, speaking frankly, as a father, I look around and see this world and see the different technologies and see the experts who are speaking on this and say to myself, how am I as a business leader and others able to take those resources, to take that leverage and further on why empathy is so important. And to be brief in the sake of time, I wanted to just talk on duty, diligence, and the direction. We're all, as we know, humanity, and we're all living on this earth trying to make it a better place. So businesses have a duty to lead with empathy, to not just speak about it, to put in actions, because when leaders are empathetic, they allow for a community sense within their corporations. They allow that to be felt, that their employees, their team members can come in a safe place, bring up ideas. And oftentimes there's many people who have ideas, goals, or different organizations. If that company themselves are not able to support it, they've got team members who have ideas on where to place those resources, how to leverage your brand, and actually get behind it. You have a lot of people who will say they speak on it, but they don't take the action. And I feel that's where empathetic leadership is going to get into the root cause of one, living that and showing that inside their own walls, allowing for the health and vitality of their own team members to carry that on so they can flow it home into their families and to their children. And they have a role model that's actually touched right there between their work, between the home, and between the schools. There's a quote, I believe, from George Orwell that says, sometimes the most obvious thing for intelligent men, in this case mankind, is to state the obvious. And this obvious was right now is it's a call to action to have many people come together and utilize those resources. I am frankly not an expert on sustainability, more so here for a cry to speak to those leaders, to those corporations who are not necessarily vested in it, to listen to the experts in the communities, to find out where your team is able to put a grassroots effort and take that diligence that we all have as a duty to be stewards of this earth and to pass on to this next generation. I have seen different places in Canada, different places in some of the parts of the world that are being vested in showing these youth the importance of why this world matters. But what happens when these kids, their parents go out into an organization that is void of care and concern, that it's not able to flow that back down to those children? So empathy plays a large part in those organizations. You have the output is put better when you have empathetic leadership. Women do better, men do better. There's a better communication style that goes on. So everyone has a drop to play in that line of work. And I feel each person, if they collectively do that, will make an impact. I've seen how empathy, when you have leaders take this, they take and warm the hearts of people who may not otherwise seek to take this role, and understanding their corporation plays a role, their environment inside the building, the company, whether that's allowing your team members to work remote so they can walk and save and reduce the carbon imprint, or making it so that your whole company is carbon neutral, whatever has to be done, allowing your resources, if they're not able to quickly move, supporting a green partner who, like the gentleman was saying earlier, get out and support those local companies that have the technology, that have the resources. There's so much out there for some people like myself who are just laymen who are not aware. If they can get out and show and get past their ego, there's a lot of things that can be done to support that. So I feel like if you get in, ask those questions, talk to your teams, push this, you're gonna be contributing to those domains of what's going on. So events like this are laced with empathy. It's so many experts preaching the value of it and getting behind action. I simply wanted to be a reminder that these corporations play a role, the leaders play a role, and taking that empathy, asking your teams, creating a space for them is going to make an impact to help sustainability down the road. And just to like, there's some good, I just want to put out, there's some good sites like Catalyst is a good core place for doing this. They can show you some of the different websites and research that has the statistics saying, hey, those leaders who show empathy, they're 14 to 20% better off than those companies who don't do that. It's trickling down to what I personally believe, that empathy and the values is the root and the foundation for what drives sustainability. Because if you care enough for your companies and you care enough for your team, you're gonna set a precedence for showing others that you care about the world. And there's gonna be truth in marketing, truth in branding, and it's gonna be a cohesive unit. You're not gonna be just doing that to gain notoriety, saying, hey, yes, I'm doing this, but you're putting your money, your resources, and your time, whether that's influence, or whether that's the actual dollars to help others move along in that process. So I just wanted to say briefly that, understanding the sake of time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Paul Gunn Jr. Really good insights. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right.
We'll